Hello everyone, welcome back to the Film Feast. My name is Sam Donchis, I'm your host. On this episode of the Film Feast, I want to talk to you about a movie that you might actually not have heard about. It's called Jupiter Ascending. Despite the fact that it is a big budget sci-fi blockbuster movie intended for the summer, it's kind of flown under the radar. It's gotten two big trailers, both of which I've enjoyed a bit, one of which I even featured as my trailer of the week back when I did that on the Film Feast, and I was pretty excited for it, but it turns out that it was actually pushed back to February 2015. But before I get to that, let me see if I can ring a bell in your memory bank so that you can recall Jupiter Ascending. Jupiter Ascending is a space opera starring Mila Kunis and Channing Tatum about a girl who lives on Earth, a seemingly, unsuspecting girl who finds out that she has a genetic signature that makes her royalty and also heir to Earth. Eddie Redmayne plays the villain, the son to a matriarch who considers himself to be the heir to Earth, but when he finds out about Mila Kunis' character, Jupiter Jones, which is such an awesome name, he basically just wants to kill her. Channing Tatum plays Kane Weiss, a genetically engineered warrior who wants to protect Jupiter from any harm that might befall her, and he's also playing the newest member of the band Empire of the Sun. That's basically the skeleton of the plot. If I tried to explain any more of it from the synopsis that I've read it might confuse you. And I'm not trying to say that this is a confusing sounding movie. I'm saying that it's better experienced visually than through word of mouth. And that's just how it goes sometimes. But it might end up being a confusing movie, and it might flop. And that is one of the studio's main concerns in advertising it. Now, I'm someone who has a keen eye for stranger movies. If a movie looks strange, I'm more than often going to hone in on that more than the films in the rest of the pack, because I like strange movies, and this definitely looks different from everything else out there. Between Captain America the Winter Soldier and Transformers Age of Extinction, Jupiter Ascending has gotten completely lost in a huge, dense forest of summer blockbusters that people would much rather go see because they recognize the brands that they're attached to. Spider-Man, Godzilla, X-Men, Days of Future Past. That's all stuff that people are like, oh, well, I've seen that before, so I'm much more willing to go see its sequel than something called Jupiter Ascending. What is that? I believe that was one of Warner Brothers' main concerns when they decided to push the movie back to February 2015. Up until early June, Jupiter Ascending was slated to come out on July 25th of this year. When the initial announcement was released, Warner Brothers cited the reasoning that the film needed extra work done on the 2,000 plus visual effects shots. Rumors immediately started buzzing around that the film had had bad test screenings and Warner Brothers wanted to go in and recut the film. And while that is a believable rumor, especially this late in the game and a film gets pushed back, that's kind of thrown up a few red flags. Although I don't think that's the case here. Going back to the fact that Jupiter Ascending is completely lost in all of these other summer blockbuster trailers, I think Warner Brothers needs a better marketing campaign. They hosted a very successful panel at San Diego Comic-Con, and just from the few write-ups that I've read online, the excitement's up. That plus the fact that the film's theatrical trailer will continue running in front of movies for the next several months, that should make people remember it by the time February 2015 rolls around, right? I've checked ahead to see what the film's competition looks like come February 6, 2015, and it's only coming out alongside two other movies, including Seventh Son, which has gotten tossed around forever due to Warner Brothers and Legendary parting ways. They threw the film over to Universal. It was supposed to come out in early 2013, now it's coming out in early 2015. But the movie still looks bad. The other film is called Mordecai, and it's starring Johnny Depp. It's basically an art heist, possible comedy, but that's the only thing that I think will cause a problem for Jupiter Ascending come early February, because Johnny Depp pulls in the big numbers, and especially once this film gets some promotional content rolling, posters, trailers, what have you, people are gonna possibly latch onto that more than Jupiter Ascending. Although, if the Lone Ranger is any indication, maybe not. I sincerely believe that early February is the perfect time to release Jupiter Ascending. The next weekend you've got 50 Shades of Grey coming out, and that is absolutely going to crush it at the box office. But still, we can get a solid week of revenue being pumped into that movie. Oh yeah, I haven't even mentioned the best part yet. It's directed by the Wachowski siblings. And even if you didn't like the second and third Matrix movies, they still made Speed Racer and Cloud Atlas, which are tremendously good movies. To me, the Wachowskis are some of the most unique voices in Hollywood right now, and giving them all the support you can is imperative if you want to see good movies coming back to the theaters. Warner Brothers has backed the Wachowskis time and time again. Seriously, they produced all the Matrix movies, Speed Racer, Cloud Atlas, all of them. So I think it's important for us as moviegoers to make Warner Brothers feel like they're not taking a gamble on the Wachowskis. I've said it a few times before, and I'll say it again. You vote with your wallet. So go forth and check out the trailers that have been released thus far for Jupiter Ascending. I almost guarantee that your interest will be piqued. And join me for the next episode of The Film Feast, where I will be talking about the director chosen for Star Wars Episodes 8 and 9. Thank you for watching, and if you like the channel, feel free to subscribe. Also, a little announcement. I know that I've been showing that a new episode of TV Dinner is coming soon, and I promise it is. Once I catch up with all the Film Feast stuff, I'm gonna record some episodes for it, and it's gonna be great. This channel's gonna have variety again. Thanos. Gotta get that muscle memory. Gotta put Thanos in my mouth. Simple mistake, but me being a nerd, I like to know these things because I talk about it a lot, especially in this episode, which is all about Thanos. If you're just joining the Film Feast and wanted to see a serious discussion about serious films, this isn't that. Although I want to do that sometimes. I do. It's the summer, and there have been a lot of news stories about nerdy stuff. That's just how it goes, I guess, during the summer. But if you're a fan of Josh Brolin, stick around, because I'm going to be talking about him in this episode too. Because, as it was just fairly recently announced, Josh Brolin will be playing Thanos in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.